welcome to episode 75 of the Productive Wellbeing Show. I can hardly believe where the time has gone, that we started hanging out in March and now it is the 31st of July. Tomorrow is August and we are more than halfway through 2020. This is absolutely crazy. And I don't know about you, but this was not on my 2020 vision board in any way, shape or form. I had been doing shows before this, but this sort of idea to do this show just came to me over a weekend, the weekend before the UK actually went into lockdown. And I just was like, right, let's start a show and let's sort of support all of the people who are finding themselves working from home, aka me, aka you, aka like all of us all around the world, finding ourselves working from home, living at home, sharing our homes, not really like knowing what the heck was going on, and literally just started it. And here we are, 75 freaking episodes later. This is insane. So as you are joining me, say hello. As you're joining on LinkedIn, say hi. It looks like we are working on there today, which is awesome. I can see you. As you're joining on Facebook, say hi, and please also hit that like button, and let's send some love out there into the universe as a thanks and gratitude that we can have this conversation together. So over the last 18 weeks, we have had 75 episodes, as I said, and that is 37 guests we have had on the show. We have done 7 panels. We've had so many conversations. So many of you have met each other through this show, which is absolutely crazy as well. Like, most of us didn't really know each other at the start of this year. So this is awesome as well. And this is kind of the unexpected consequences of the global pandemic that has been going on for the pretty much whole of 2020. So yay, I can see you all there on all the platforms. This is so awesome. And obviously this is episode 75. I am freaking nervous, guys. Like, I just have to be honest with you. I am really quite nervous about having this conversation. It's totally not scripted because I want to be real and I want to be honest and I want to be totally transparent with you, how all my amazing guests have been and how you have also been in the comments as well. So I have got 8 business and life lessons that I'm going to share with you. I'm also going to tell you where you can go and download them as well yourself so that you can make notes and also sort of start creating your own 8, because lots of people that I've had on the show have said that they've also been speaking to their friends and asking them, which is amazing. So I would love you to take this away as like another step and have a conversation about this at the dinner table with your friends and your family and say to them, what have you learned this year? What has happened to you? Because it's kind of crazy. I'm loving all of your comments. Right, let me show you. So I said that I've turned this into a download for you, and this is what it looks like. And look, you can see I've got a little sort of celebratory background there. So I'm going to talk you through those right now and then tell you where you can go to download that for free for yourself. So 8 lessons. My first one, the first of the 8, right, is abundance. So if you've got a notepad and pen as well, you might want to take notes of this, because certain things are going to come up for you and things have come up for other people as people have been sharing their lessons throughout sort of the last 5 most recent episodes. So my first one is abundance. This was the biggest lesson, I would say, from the whole of the Corona chapter of 2020 so far. And the question that I would love you to write down that I have asked myself in all of this is, what do I have? So lots of us found ourselves in those first sort of weeks of March. Business was cancelled. You were running your own business. People were being furloughed. People were being made redundant. Bosses weren't replying to people. Clients weren't replying to people. Nobody knew what was going on. Schools were shut, and we all were told, you have to stay at home. So it went absolutely crazy. The world went crazy. Everything we knew, everything that we knew with certainty, suddenly we didn't know this anymore. And I found myself actually having to ask, well, what do I have? And this has been sort of my grounding exercise, my grounding question throughout the entirety of 2020, this sort of corona period, and also sort of in the last 8 years since I had my wake-up call. I have had to ask myself, well, I no longer have X, but what do I have? And for those of you who know me, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, and the coaching side of me has really started to come out over the last few weeks, because I've had to self-coach myself through this, as have a lot of the guests who have been on, as have a lot of you and the conversations that we have been having. So the first lesson is abundance. And I had to say, what do I have? Because the big thing is, and I've got some notes, so this isn't scripted, but I am reading my notes, right? It's important that we look at, with certainty, what do we have? So there isn't any certainty, but we do have certain things around us. So we all still have access to oxygen. If we're in the UK, we had and have access to free medical health with the NHS. We turned on our taps and water came out. Like, we were being told at the start we had to wash our hands. So we may not have had clients, we may not have had clear revenue streams, but we still had oxygen, we still had water, we still had Wi-Fi, we still had a roof over our head, we still had a bed, we still had food and access to food. We still had loo paper, even though there were people who were scared and buying a lot. We still had all of these things. And if you can learn how to go into the abundance of what do I have, it's called a reframe. And it's one of the greatest reframes that I can teach you, is that you control what goes on in your mind, and you can only have one thought in your mind at any one time. So you cannot have a I don't have thought and an I do have thought. Does that make sense? So if you focus on what you have, you will start seeing more of what you have, where if you focus on what you don't have, you will see more of what you don't have. They say in the spiritual world, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you want your energy to flow on lack and flow towards lack, you will experience more lack. If you want your energy to flow towards abundance, you have to see the abundance that is around you, the abundance of the people in this support system, the conversations that you can have on all of the social media platforms. The biggest thing we've all been looking for over the last 18 weeks has been connection. So we have had an abundance of connection, and we've all connected as a result of this. So that is my first business and life lesson from 2020 so far. The second one, I've just kind of touched on this. So my second one is choices. What will I focus on is a choice. Our attention, our energy will flow to what we focus on. So we can choose and choose again. We're not perfect. We're not all going to sort of have gone through this and go through this and go throughout life always making the right decisions, but we can choose and choose again. So we can look at the reality, and we can choose to look at the reality again in a different way and see what we do have versus what we don't have. So what we focus on will multiply. And the interesting thing about the choices is everybody, like, it's free, it's up to you. You can choose to focus on whatever you want to focus on. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. Nobody is making you sit and watch the news and focus on that news. It's your choice. You can focus on whatever you want. And then the third lesson, which relates to this, is results. So what do I choose to believe in? Is the question to ask yourself. What do I choose to believe in? Because we've talked quite a lot about beliefs. So let me run you through a belief cycle. So we have a belief. These beliefs come from our caregivers, our teachers, our religion, society, our culture. We have these beliefs. They were kind of given to us. And as we go and grow throughout our life, we are able to change these beliefs. This is the amazing thing. We don't have to live our entire life with the beliefs we were given when we were younger. So we have a belief which creates an expectation. So we believe if we do a certain thing, we will get a certain result. We then create a habit around that. So we get used to having a belief, expecting to get a result, and that becomes a habit. And then that leads to the result. So beliefs, expectations, habits, results. If we want to get different results, we have to look and create different habits. We have to choose to believe something else. I wonder if I put up this list while I'm talking to you, if this will sort of be helpful for you. If you're watching on the phone, you might not be able to see it. It's quite small, but if you're sort of watching on a laptop or whatever, as I said, you will be able to download this at the end. So the fourth one is forgiveness, is self-love. So what do I need to forgive? Who do I need to forgive? So we are energetic beings taking with us around our life beliefs, habits, actions, results. When I was younger, this happened to me, and then I believed this about it. When I was mid-age, this happened to me, and so I believe that about it. And this person did this to me, so I don't forgive them, etc., etc. Now, life is very interesting. We all have been affected and impacted by different people throughout our lives. We have also affected and impacted other people throughout our lives. And I'm not saying that what other people have done to you was right. That's not the point of this conversation here. But I am saying that when we hold that negativity within us, that is like us drinking the poison, not them. So it is super important to learn the habit of forgiveness. And we are not forgiving people to forgive them. We are forgiving people to free ourselves. And in the Maori culture, they call this the Ho'oponopono. You can Google this and look it up on YouTube. There's a whole ton of videos around it. And one of my mantras in life is, I love you, I bless you, I release you, I thank you. So if there's anybody that I need to forgive, anybody who has annoyed me or upset me in the moment, or people from the past, I will say this: I love you, I bless you, I release you, I thank you, goodbye. And I will say it over and over and over again until I have no emotional charge relating to that person. Because our job in life is to love ourselves, and we can't love ourselves if our focus is on anger and annoyance and hatred to somebody else. So in this as well, this lesson for me was really about learning to forgive myself, and forgive myself for some of the things that I've done over the last sort of 20, 30 years of my life, things I have done, things I haven't done, and just forgive myself for not getting with the program quickly enough, not maybe not having the patience that I needed to have, etc., etc. So this has been a really big lesson for me, to forgive myself and to forgive others. And in doing that, I am then able to love myself even more. So the next one, the fifth one, if you have hung out with me for a while, you will know how important this one is for me, to me, and in my own life. You might have even done the 28-day challenge with me and understand what 8 for me is all about. So the fifth one is protect the asset, and you are the asset. So it is so important that if you want to help others, if you want to be a good partner, a good parent, a good friend, a good peer, a good colleague, a nice human, you cannot do anything for anybody else until you have looked after yourself. And so protecting the asset has been one of the biggest lessons and reminders that I have had for myself in the last 18 weeks, because I cannot do the show unless I have done the things I needed to do for myself on that daily basis, like go for a walk, meditate, journal, do mindfulness, do some exercise or movement, as we like to call it. And I would highly, highly encourage you to look at what you are doing to look after yourself on a daily basis before you go and be the servant to others. Serve yourself first, because you can't help anybody else if your battery is empty. You are just giving from an empty cup, and all you can give from an empty cup is nothing. It's just empty. I don't know if you've ever felt really thirsty, gone to an empty cup and tried to pour from it. Nothing there. So it's super, super important that you remember looking after yourself is not a luxury. It's not bougie. It's not exclusive. It's not mean. It's not selfish. It's actually the greatest gift that you can give to others, because then they are not having to pick you up every day. They are not having to use their energy to give some to you. You are going into every relationship at 100%, and you are meeting them at 100%, because you will start to be surrounded by other people who take personal responsibility for their energy. The next one, the sixth one, can't even count, you can't even see me. The sixth one is actions, okay? Who do I need to be? So I ask myself this question all the time, because who we are and what we're doing is getting us the results in our life. Who we're being and what we're doing is getting us the results. So if we're not being who we need to be in order to do what we need to do, then we're not going to have the life or the results that we want. Does that make sense? So we are the one who controls our actions. Nobody else controls our actions. And we all have the same 24-hour day. If you've been hanging out with me long enough, you will know about the 888 formula, which is where we teach people how to break down a 24-hour day. We all have that same 24-hour day, but yet we are not all doing the same thing with it. So if you want the results of the people you admire, if you want a life like the people you admire, you have to ask yourself, who do I need to be today in order to get the results that I want to get? So all of this is about taking personal responsibility. And these have been my biggest lessons from the last 18 weeks, is it's down to me to take that personal responsibility. Even when the world is as it is and people aren't giving us answers and we don't know whether we should wash our hands, not wash our hands, leave our house, not leave our house, wear a mask, not wear a mask, we can make decisions for ourselves. And when we do that, we then start to experience more freedom, more joy, more expansion in our own lives. So, 7th thing to think about is educate to elevate. Every day's a school day. Every day is a school day. You never know everything you need to know. And if you live your life on or with that kind of attitude, on the basis that I already know that, I've already done that, I've read that book, I've taken that course, I've done this stuff, you can't tell me anything, and yet you don't like things about the life that you have, nothing will ever change, because it's not about what you know, it's about what you do. So asking, what do I need to learn, is an amazing question that will help set you free. What do I need to learn? And being able to invest your time in learning, being able to invest your money in learning, is going to give you the life that you want. So this is a really big lesson, and it took me quite a while to get it. And I used to think that when the people saying it said it, it was just a sales strategy. So they used to say, and they still do say, the transformation is in the transaction. So if you pay to work with me, the transformation is in the transaction. So we could work together for free, but I'd be ripping you off from the transformation, because it's only when you pay that you fully get the transformation. So I used to sit there and be like, no, that really does sound like you're selling me. I don't get it. Until one day, the light bulb went off, because I actually invested in something that made me have a panic attack. I went really hot because I invested a lot of money in this. And the minute I invested the money and hit send, I got a massive lesson. And the big part of that lesson was myself saying to myself, thank you. Thank you. And I was like, what is this? The transformations in the transaction, thank you. And what happened in that, those few seconds, those nanoseconds, was I had invested in myself. I hadn't invested in the coach or trainer or their, way to help me take the next step. I had invested in myself. I had believed in myself that I was worth that money. I was worth those lessons. I was worth learning what I didn't know from somebody who was an expert in what they did know and what I needed to learn. And that lesson finally landed with me, is that now I am happy to pay for training. I get excited when I've invested in the training. It's like we've been having to make do with our hair. We've been having to make do with our manicures, our pedicures, all of these sort of first world problems. But when we go and get it done by somebody else, it feels so much better, because we are giving ourselves something. Does that make sense? And the lesson took a long time for me to get, so I don't expect you to sort of get it straight away. But when you're ready to get it, like I was that day, it's a game changer. So the 8th thing, live gratefully. My 8th lesson from the last 18 weeks, live gratefully. And the question around that for you to ask yourself is, who do I want to teach? So we talked about this right at the start of lockdown. I've done a few videos on it. They're on YouTube, about my big sort of realization that I had at the start of the year when I flew to the US, when I flew to San Diego for a training, and I flew in and out for 4 or 5 days and had this training, and my big lesson from that was being the role model. And being the role model for yourself then means you can be the role model for others, but you are not the role model for others first. So when you learn to live gratefully, you are then able to show people by your life how to live. We can't tell people. That's the old way of doing it. That's the old sort of parenting style of, I don't have time to explain it. You just have to do what you're told. When you learn and you just live by your own values, by what makes you happy, by being a good human, as we call it these days, then you are teaching others how to do it. If you are doing that on camera, but then off camera, you're ranting, you're raving, you're not teaching others, you're being inauthentic. So who do I want to teach? And the person who's observing that inauthenticity is you. Because it doesn't matter what is going on in the world. What matters is that you truly love yourself, and you can only truly love yourself when you live in alignment, when you live with gratitude. So I have covered my 8 lessons, and I've sort of given you some background to all of them. Let me run through them again if you are just joining us. So the first one was abundance. The second, choices. The third, results. The fourth, self-love. The fifth, protect the asset. The sixth, actions. The seventh, educate to elevate. And the eighth, live gratefully. So those are my 8 lessons for you from the last 18 weeks that I wanted to share. If you would like to download that and use it in a conversation with others, if you would like to use it to sort of spur yourself on to create your own, then this is a double whammy for you. Because if you go and sign up for the Productive Wellbeing updates emails that you can do on our website, you will also receive an email and a link to download this. So I'm going to put this link in to the comments here, and that link is only going to show on Facebook. So if anybody's on Facebook and can add that link into LinkedIn, that would be super awesome. All you need to do is click on that link, sign up, make sure you click that you agree to get emails, otherwise you won't get any emails or updates or anything from us. And you'll be able to download that and get updates about what is going on with the show. So obviously this is episode 75. I never thought that it would go on for this long. I really didn't. And I'm so grateful to have August to spend some time writing, so that my next book that I have been talking to you about, my next book, yes, Andy, you can tweet it. That would be awesome. And also, if you could put it into the LinkedIn chat, that would be really helpful for the guys. So August, I'm going to be spending writing my next book. And my next book is going to be called The 8-Minute Secret. And in this book, it's going to be a step-by-step guide to creating your own self-care routine. So if you did the 28-day challenge, there's information about that also on my website. You can sign up to find out when we will do the next challenge. That challenge was free, and that was really, really awesome to do that with everybody. Thank you guys for putting all the links in the comments. You are so amazing. Then you will sort of be finding out about what's going on with the book, how to get involved in the challenge, and how 8 for me is literally changing people's lives. And you can create a self-care routine 8 minutes a day. And I was so excited this week to be featured in the Metro newspaper, talking about the 8-minute self-care secret as well, the 8-minute secret. So that was really, really awesome. Now, as I've asked all my guests to share a top tip, I also wanted to share a top tip with you. So this is my tip that I have lived my life by since I think I was 19 when this happened. Now, maybe I've told this story in slight versions and I've told bits of it, but it just came to me today that I need to tell you this story because it's kind of crazy, but it's also shaped who I am today. So when I was at university, I went to Oxford Brookes University. Best 3 years of my life. I love Oxford, and I studied business and marketing. There was a nightclub in Oxford that we all went to. We all went to this nightclub on, I think it was a Wednesday night, because this was sports night. So everybody in universities would go out on the Wednesday night. And this nightclub, the Wednesday night event, was called Fuzzy Ducks. They don't have it anymore, which is a real shame. And so we would always go after sort of the Wednesday sports. And I used to play basketball when I was at university, even though I'm 5'6", 5'7", and my doctors medically advised me not to play it because of my scoliosis. Conversation for another day. I have titanium rods in my spine. So they said best not to play a contact sport, but I just loved basketball. So I played it throughout my whole degree. I was never going to be a basketball player, but some of the people I played with were really, really good, and I had an amazing time. Anyway, I digress. So we would go to the club on a Wednesday night and have the best time ever, as you do. And then one night, I was approached by somebody who handed me a Post-it note. And forgive me, I was 19, maybe a bit of ego, maybe a bit of arrogance. I believed it was their mobile phone number. So I took the Post-it note, put it in my handbag, didn't think about it again. Until the next morning when we were sort of talking about what had happened the night before. And I pulled this Post-it note out of my handbag. And I still have this Post-it note, right? There was no phone number on this Post-it note. There literally was this guy's name and the phrase, "Winners find a way." So I have framed this Post-it note in a teacup coaster. And then this became my life mantra. I have Googled this to see, where this person is, what is going on with it, who are they? I literally, I've no idea. It was like an angel came out from the crowd, if you want, and just handed me this Post-it note, which kind of shaped my life. So his quote said, "Winners find a way." And I added an extra word to it. So I added the word always. Winners always find a way. And that has been my mantra throughout my whole life. And you probably can't see, but at the bottom of here under Dream, Believe, Achieve, it says winners find a way, or winners always find a way. And then I've got a bracelet as well. They call it a mantra band that says winners always find a way. And in my office, I used to have it on the wall in the office as well. So this literally became my life mantra. And so every time adversity happens, it is like it's tattooed in my head. Winners always find a way. And then the phrase that goes around and around my head is, Abigail, find a way, find a way, find a way, find a way. And I truly believe that in life, we either find a way or we make a way. And so I wanted to share this with you today, because this really is at the core of my being, that I will always find a way. And whenever I've been at rock bottom, almost dying on the work business trip, what am I going to do with my life? What does it look like? Relationships not working, moving back from one country to another country. I've always said to myself, find a way, find a way. And the word sort of winners, it can be a bit emotive, like winners or losers. but the find a way part has been integral in my life. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't need a tattoo because it quite literally is who I am. Find a way. So I don't even really need to look at the bracelet. I just got it because at one point I was going to do merchandise with it. And I was trying it out to see if other people would want a bracelet that said it on it. But I wanted to share that with you because I find that that is my sort of top tip and secret. And I haven't really shared it on any podcasts or interviews with this kind of backdrop to the story, the post-it note guy in the nightclub. So I thought you might find it amusing. We've hung out for 75 episodes. So if I tell you a little bit more about me, then yeah, there we go. There's one other thing I wanted to say to you that came to me today, because I started this show to support you, but I also was doing it to support myself, to have a routine, to have a platform, to have a community, to build a conversation. So I still need that routine and that accountability, but I also need some time to be able to write the book. So what came to me this morning in the shower, as all the best ideas come in the shower, was to do a 25-day reset. So what I would like to do is tell you about the idea, which is that we spend 25 days together from the 5th of August to the 30th or 31st of August, I can't remember the exact date, and we hang out in a group, and we literally have two goals in this group. One goal we set is a work-related goal, and the second goal we set is a personal related goal. And my two goals, just for transparency, is one, writing the book, and the second is getting back into my fitness again, because over the last couple of weeks it's kind of slid a bit and my diet hasn't really been on point and I don't feel at my optimum. So these are my two goals, and I would love to hang out with you for 25 days so that we could all keep each other accountable on our own goals. As I was just saying about the importance of getting lessons when we invest in ourselves, I've decided that this 25-day group program, which is basically like my way to do group coaching at an affordable price, will be £25. So literally you can join for £25 and we will hang out, and every week we'll have a 30-minute check-in, similar to the 28-day program, and we will talk about what is going on, and then we'll have the group to kind of share specifically who is doing what. And I will start a separate group for this. So if that's something that you would be interested in, then send me a message. I'm not going to do it with thousands of people and spend loads of time promoting it and selling it. This literally was just, I want to hang out with people who have got a goal and they want to reset over August, because they know that September is going to be crazy when everybody is back and the world is trying to continue to sort of unravel and unroll. So I just thought this would be a great way for us to all hang out, and the investment is there so that you then commit to yourself and put some money down so that you've got, as one of my mentors would say, skin in the game. So I'm loving seeing you all saying, yes, this is so awesome. And then an extra thing, just to let you know, there will be 2 places available for people who are in the position at the moment where they're struggling. They need accountability, they want accountability, but they just are not in that financial position to invest £25. And the reason that there are 2 places for these 2 individuals is because somebody has very kindly offered to be a benefactor. So we've got 2 places. So if you would, if you feel like that this would really benefit you, also DM me and let me know, and we can have a chat about gifting you that place, because I think it's super awesome that we stay and we help each other and that we can do whatever we can, because we are in this together. So that's how we're going to stay chatting and stay connected over August, and the show will be back in September with a new plan, maybe a new background, maybe a new set, who knows, maybe new colours, definitely not a new host, because I'd really love to see you, but yeah, so there we are. Oh, I love that you're starting to track your points, Karima. Yeah, and I never really measure or track when it comes to food and things like this, but oh, Mike, you'd also like to sponsor people. That's so lovely. You guys are just the best. I mean, the world is freaking crazy at the moment. More of you. To be fair, this is so awesome. We've got benefactors, we've got members. You guys are just such beautiful, kind-hearted souls. I'll send you emails to sort of sort all of this out, and it might even be that you can work out how to gift a place to a friend. But yeah, we can have a chat about that. But so the world is crazy at the moment. Certain sectors, people just don't know what they're going to do. So I think it's super important that for those of us who can and are in a position to be the light, to be the leader, that we do and that we are. Right. Let's wrap this up. I'm really sad. Well, no, I'm excited, but for the last time, it has been my pleasure to hang out with you for 75 episodes. Also, they are all going to be, well, most of them, some of them are ones with me mostly, are not going to go onto YouTube because, yeah. But most of them are going to be going onto YouTube, and quite a number of them are up there already. So you can go to YouTube and binge watch previous episodes and catch up with where we've been and feel supported until we can sort of chat again in person in September and talk about the book. And I will be so excited for that. And maybe we can even speak about doing an in-person event. Who knows? I mean, that would be really, really like next level. Let's just get manifesting that in our group. So until next time, you beautiful people, stay safe, stay well, and keep washing your hands and wearing your mask and looking after yourself, your friends, and your family, but yourself first.